When you're new to the credit card game, you might be shocked as to how many credit cards us creators or other credit card enthusiasts have. At first, your gut reaction probably tells you that somebody with this many credit cards, and let's be honest, like 90% of these right here are debit cards, but somebody in that situation likely has a lot of debt and probably has a bad credit score, right? Well, in reality, it's actually quite the opposite. At the age of just 23 years old, I've accumulated 9 different credit cards that have actually helped me stay consistently in the mid to high 700s with my credit score, helped me get approved for the lowest interest rate loans that I can find, while also helping me earn hundreds of thousands of points that I've redeemed for thousands of dollars worth of travel, all because I use my credit cards responsibly. However, all these cards definitely do not come from the same lender, so how in the world do I actually get value from all these credit cards? And that, of course, is where the main topic of today's video comes into play, that being credit card point diversity. Now, as you can tell, the style of this video is going to be a bit different than my normal ones. I'm going to be kind of moving around my house and maybe going outside and stuff to film this one. And I'm also basically going to be talking off the top of my head because if Daniel Braun can do it, then so can I. So first of all, let me go ahead and just move locations around my house. Sorry, we are moving out right now, so obviously, as you can tell, everything's a little bit crazy in here. But let's go ahead and pop a squat right here where I can tell you about my current credit card setup and what cards I'm actually rocking. I also just realized how bad the audio is probably going to be in here because of how echoey it is without any, furniture in our entire apartment, but you know what? We're already here. Now, like I said, so far in my credit card journey, I've accumulated 9 different credit cards, and the order in which I applied for them was that I got the Chase Freedom Student as my very first credit card, which has now been product changed to the OG Chase Freedom. Then I got the Chase Freedom Unlimited, the Chase Sapphire Preferred after that. Then I got the Citi Custom Cash, and then the Amex Gold Card. Then I moved into some business credit cards where I got the Amex Blue Business Plus, and then the Chase Ink Cash. I switched up a little bit after that and got a premium luxury travel credit card in the Capital One Venture X. And then my most recent credit card addition was the Amex Amazon Prime Business Card. And to be completely honest with y'all, I only ever use, a few of those credit cards consistently. I mainly use the Amex Gold Card as my dedicated food card, so for my groceries or my dining purchases. I now use the Capital One Venture X as my catch-all credit card since it gives me 2x back on all of my purchases, as well as for any travel I book through Capital One Travel Portal. I technically use the Amex Blue Business Plus as my catch-all credit card on the business side, and I use the Chase Ink Cash for its 5x categories. I use the Citi Custom Cash as my dedicated gas card, so that one just stays in my car actually. Of course, I use the Amex Amazon Business Prime for all of my Prime purchases. That just stays in my sock drawer because I, just have it preloaded to Prime. And the cards I actually get the least amount of value out of these days, I guess, are the Chase Freedom Unlimited and technically the Chase Sapphire Preferred, but that's only for the spending categories. These 2 cards have accumulated me a ton of Chase Ultimate Rewards points through their welcome bonuses and spend I put on them previously. And my Chase Sapphire Preferred is going to be a card that I always hold on to because it allows me the ability to transfer my points out to Chase's travel partners, which is well worth the $95 annual fee every single year. So really the main 3 cards that see the light of day out of my wallet are going to be the Amex Gold Card, Capital One Venture X, and the Citi Custom Cash for gas, which I guess it's not actually in my wallet. Well, excuse this extremely awkward angle, but as you can tell from those cards I just listed, I currently have cards from, 4 different lenders. I have Capital One cards, Citi cards, Chase cards, and Amex cards. And technically one of my Amex cards only earns credits for Amazon.com, so I guess you could count that as another ecosystem, but that's just cash back in my opinion. Now with that being said, how do I actually use all of the different points that I've earned on these cards in combination with one another, and how hard is it for me to actually balance all these different point ecosystems? So just so y'all know my overall credit card strategy as it comes to how I use my points in general, my Chase points are what I consider my hotel points because I really do value Hyatt's points, and Hyatt is a direct transfer partner from Chase. And if you remember what I said about the Chase Sapphire Preferred earlier, since that card does allow me to transfer my points out to Chase's travel partners, I can convert my Chase points at a 1-to-1 rate to Hyatt. And with those Hyatt points, it's generally really easy for me to find redemptions for at least 3 to 5 cents per point, which makes that point currency super valuable to me. I also do use my Chase points for Southwest flights because I do fly with Southwest domestically, especially because I live in Texas. And there I usually get a redemption rate of about 1.4 cents per point, but still I'm flying for free, so to me it doesn't matter. As for my American Express points, I guess those are technically my flight points, even though like I said, I fly domestically with Southwest a lot, who is one of Chase's transfer partners, but I know some of Amex's travel partners are really powerful on the flight side of the game, like for example Delta, who I know a lot of y'all don't like Delta's points, but that is an option that they have, as well as a lot of their international flight partners are really good, like Air France or British Airways, stuff like that. This may be shocking for y'all to hear, but I still have not actually used an international travel partner yet with any of my points, but in general I've been stockpiling these Amex points for that reason. And actually on the hotel side, I did use my Amex points recently for a Hilton booking that I made, because you can transfer 1 Amex membership reward points to 2 Hilton points, making this redemption that I did on a holiday weekend worth I think 1.8 cents per point using my Amex points, which obviously isn't super great. But like I said about my Southwest redemptions, I don't care about that cent per point point rate if I'm getting an experience that I wouldn't have gotten before because I didn't want to pay cash for it. As for my Capital One points, those have just been stockpiling since I added the Venture X, and I haven't even touched those yet. But as we'll talk about here in a little bit, I do see a lot of value in their international airline partners specifically because their airline partners do overlap with some of the other big lenders like Chase and Amex, for example. What does that just leave Citi now? I guess with my Citi points, same kind of story. Right now, I just stockpile my Citi points, for the 5x back I get on gas, because eventually I want to add the Citi Premier card to my setup, which allows me to then transfer my points out to their travel partners once again. But until that day comes, it's basically just worth 1 cent per point in cashback form, and I haven't needed to redeem those points yet, so I've just been letting them sit there. And for those of y'all that are wondering, yes, I am in a half squat for this position. I just can't really be in the camera if I'm standing up, so this is what we're doing. I hope all the audio from my living room is at least bearable because, yeah, I just filmed like half of that video in there. But as you can kind of tell with my credit card points, I'm a little bit all over the place. However, that chaos becomes a little bit more bearable when you realize what I have about transferable currencies in general. If you were to pull up a list of the transfer partners that Chase has, Amex, Citi, Capital One, all these combined, what you'll be able to see is that a lot of them have overlapping transfer partners that are actually really powerful. For example, all 4 of these major lenders we're talking about that I have cards from have Air France, Singapore Airlines, and Virgin Atlantic all as overlapping transfer partners. So what that means is that all of my credit cards, all of the rewards that I get by spending on them and welcome bonuses and all of that, with the right cards, mind you, can all be used with all 3 of those different airlines. So in a sense, I'm earning a ton of Air France miles, I'm earning a ton of Virgin Atlantic miles and Singapore Airlines miles, all just because of those overlapping transfer partners. Now, of course, what I just said, a big caveat, you have to have certain cards that will allow you to actually make those transfers happen. So when it comes to Chase's side of the game, you have to have at least one of the Chase Sapphire cards or the Chase Ink Preferred on the business side. Amex's cards, at least they're ones that earn Amex membership rewards points, I think all allow you to transfer out to their travel partners, which is pretty awesome. With Citi, you need at least the Citi Premier card to be able to do that, or if you have the retired Citi Prestige card, then you could also do it with that card. And with Capital One, you need one of their mile earning cards, like one of the Venture cards, to be able to transfer out to their partners. However, for me, I have the Capital One Venture X, which allows me to transfer to their partners. I have the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which lets me transfer out to Chase's partners. I have 2 different Amex cards, the Blue Business Plus and the Amex Gold card, that both allow me access to their transfer partners. And Citi is the dark horse right now where I don't have a card that allows me to transfer out, but it is one that I'm planning on adding in the future. So as you can see, this chaos that I have with all these different point ecosystems is at least organized chaos. And honestly, I don't want to stop here. I have points with all of the 4 big lenders out there, but I also want to add eventually the Built MasterCard, which has its own transfer partners, including American Airlines and Hyatt, which then again, I can use my Chase points and my Built points in combination with each other to transfer to Hyatt, which is one of my favorite hotel chains in existence. I can see myself adding different hotel and airline cards down the line too, depending on who I want to, pledge loyalty to in a way. So within a couple of years, you might see me earning points with like 7 to 10 different ecosystems and not stressing about it at all. Then again though, this is not a strategy that I would recommend to everybody. So who do I actually recommend this strategy for? I really just want to answer the question of should you get cards from multiple lenders or not through this video. So hopefully this section will help you figure that out. To give a really simple blanket answer, I would only recommend this strategy to people who are looking to collect many credit cards. Obviously, if you're somebody that just wants like 2 to 3 credit cards, then optimizing your spend in a way that only gets you points within one ecosystem is probably the best way to go. But if you're somebody that is truly enthusiastic about the credit card game and you use your credit cards responsibly, you're likely adding a ton of credit cards over the course of your lifetime, mainly for the welcome bonuses. So if you're somebody in that boat, then you want to get welcome bonuses from any lender that'll give you the highest welcome bonus at the time. And in doing so, that's really how you profit the most from the credit card game. This actually brings up a whole nother topic I want to talk about maybe in a future video. But the fact of the matter is that I do not earn that many points from my spend compared to welcome bonuses and compared to referral bonuses. Let me try to do a little bit of quick math in my head here so you know what I'm talking about. Let's say that I have a card that gives me 3x back on multiple categories, and we'll just say that I got 3x back on $10,000 worth of spend in a year on that card. What that would give me is 30,000 points in whatever ecosystem we're wanting to talk about here. And to make it more tangible, let's say that these cards come from Chase. But in the second scenario, rather than just putting it all in that 3x category and getting those 30,000 points, let's say that I got 2 new Chase cards, the Chase Sapphire Preferred and the Chase Ink Cash card. As of right now, those welcome bonus spending requirements add up to $10,000 because you need to spend $4,000 in the first 3 months on your Chase Sapphire Preferred to hit the welcome bonus and $6,000 in the first 3 months on your Chase Ink Cash to hit that welcome bonus. What that effectively means is that you spent $10,000, but the amount of points that you get from spending towards a welcome bonus is much higher than you would in a 3x category. On the Chase Sapphire Preferred, the lowest bonus you're going to get right now is 60,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points. And on the Chase Ink Cash, the lowest you're going to get right now is 75,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points. Now, if I do my math right, that adds up to 135,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points you would get from the exact same amount of spend that you would have been doing in those 3x categories to get just just 30,000 points. So that right there is the power of spending towards welcome bonuses, and why I think that if you are somebody that's spending towards a lot of those, it makes a lot of sense to get cards from every different lender. This fact becomes a lot more prevalent too when you start to consider the fact that these lenders have overlapping transfer partners, and you have to be on team travel for those to really even make sense in the first place. And that brings up another great point. If you are somebody on team cashback, then this method makes no sense for you. In a sense, I guess it does, because with cashback cards, you can get cards from any lender out there, and your redemption rate's going to be exactly the same. But if you're somebody that's on team travel slightly and you only want to add a couple of cards, then I think it is smart to maybe go with just one point ecosystem. And if you're somebody like me who is enthusiastic about this game and wants to profit from it in any way that I can, I'm going to be the type of person to put in the research and time to understanding how to use my points in the best ways. And at the same time, I'm the kind of person that wants to apply for a lot of different credit cards because I realize how powerful welcome bonuses are. So honestly, maybe that's the whole entire point of this video. I've seen the argument time after time on YouTube of people saying whether or not you should get cards from multiple lenders or should just stick to one. And I think it really all comes down to how many credit cards you actually want to add to your setup in the future, and whether or not you actually are somebody that will use your points in the best way possible. If you're a casual credit card user, maybe just stick to one point ecosystem. If you're on team travel, like I said before, if you're on team cashback, just go crazy, get whatever cards give you the highest percentage back. But if you're somebody that wants to become a master of the credit card game and you're transferring out to the best transfer partners out there and trying to get the highest cent per point value you can from every redemption, then it really doesn't make sense to limit yourself to just one ecosystem. Then again, your mileage is going to vary with all of these different lenders, and whether or not you want to leave some out or add certain ones in that I don't, that's completely up to you. But I just wanted to make this video because I feel like it's kind of crazy to not at least try to get the most value you can from all of the different lenders. No bank is really your friend. We're seeing that with Amex lately. They're being weird with basically everybody. So don't just pledge your loyalty to one if you are trying to play this game in a profitable way and aren't just trying to get some casual rewards for your spending. I hope that this kind of video was interesting to y'all, and I hope I didn't just ramble for like 15 minutes or however long this video is, but I kind of just wanted to talk to y'all personally about, this discussion I see all the time in my comments. If you are somebody that's interested in that travel side of the credit card game, then I've made a recent video that you can watch next that talks about some of the best travel credit cards on the entire credit card market right now. So as always, Odin and I both want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next time.